So obviously we are in an unprecedented situation. How are you gauging the severity of the economic shock that we are dealing with as the nation shuts down?
There are a number of high-frequency indicators, particularly ones that bear on the performance of the labor market, particularly initial claims. And what we're seeing there, as you know, is absolutely shocking. Probably now, if we had a timely unemployment statistic, the unemployment rate would probably be up to 12 or 13% at this point and moving higher. So other sectoral indicators, daily credit card data, other data that we have just show a dramatic decline in economic activity. Probably for the second quarter at an annual rate, we're going to be looking at a decline in GDP of at least 30%, and I've seen far higher numbers. So this is a huge, unprecedented, devastating hit. And my hope is that we will get back to business as usual as quickly as possible.
On the jobs numbers in particular, I mean, you called it shocking, absolutely, to see almost 10 million unemployment claims in 2 weeks. How bad do you think those numbers could get in this country?
Well, I think the toll is continuing to rise, and how bad it gets, I think it really depends on how quickly people can get back to business. My own thinking is that our focus needs to be at this point on testing and trying to get the pandemic under enough control so that we can begin to restore business activity. But certainly unemployment could go quite a lot higher. I'm hopeful that the new Small Business Administration and other lending programs will work to continue to protect employment. I thought it was heartening in the recent employment report, even though it's stale, to see that a lot of the unemployment was temporary job loss. That suggests that workers are still connected to their firms, and if activity can restart, that they'll be able to go back to their old jobs.
People are wondering if this could look like a V or a U or a W. Do you have any sense of what recovery looks like?
Well, a V, which is what we're all hoping for, is really a best case scenario. And if activity could begin to resume, as many assume, in June, and maybe be back to something more normal by the summer, I think a V is possible, but I am worried that the outcome will be worse. And it really depends, to my mind, on just how much damage is done during the time that the economy is shut down in the way it is now. To what extent will workers have their employment connections severed if firms need to start up their activity and they've lost ties with their existing workforce? That will make it that much harder. If households have run down their savings and had to dip into retirement savings, or are behind on their bills and have higher debt and lower wealth, their spending patterns are not likely to go back to what they were. The corporate distress that we're seeing, and that may get worse, may leave companies. I'm afraid we will see bankruptcies, and companies may end up with debt burdens that make them unwilling to restore investment spending or rehire workers. And the more damage of that sort that's done, the more likely we're to see a U. And there are worse letters too, like L, and I hope we don't see something like that.